Deep Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, it's the joy of being a live stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York, folks. Great to be here with you. Hello, sir. Amused Dave. Welcome. You know, I realize as people are just trickling in now, 40 seconds ago, I looked up and said, there are 40 seconds left. I both don't have water and need to use the washroom. I was thinking maybe I could just wait. I don't know, that's a good idea. So will folks in chat welcome people? I'll just right here on the screen. Be right back. I'll be back in 1 second, probably 120 seconds. Be right back. Back. Sorry. I've got a surprise too. Not only am I back, but I've arrived with a surprise. Guess what that surprise is? Guess what that surprise is? Hi. Also tangled. Here we go. Guess who I have here? Welcome, folks. Thank you for your patience. Hello. Look who it is. It's our good friend. It's Willow. Hi, Willow. I thought I'd bring Willow along. Eventually, I want to train her to be able to sit next to me during the stream, silently. But she's not there yet. But I've realized I have to... Got to start sometime. So, exactly. Hello, welcome everyone. All right, we're just getting started here. Welcome, folks. Thank you for welcoming people, chat. Appreciate that very much. Say hi, Willow. Over here. Say hi. Yeah, here. Hi. Look at that. Look at that, sweetie. She's as big as a human. Okay, you're going to sit right here, and if you can't, we'll put you in your little carrier. Maybe you can. Down below. We'll see. Okay, folks, so where on earth are you coming from? I'm in Brooklyn. And what am I grateful for? Wait, see. Wait, how do you spell psyche? P-S-Y-C-H-I-E? C-H-Y? That's wrong. How do you spell psyche? That is not correct. But I just like putting my spelling mistakes in here to have a little imperfection in place now and then. I-E? I thought it was I-E. Oh, E, just the letter E, psyche. Self-healing psyche. I love the fact that our psyche, our entire emotional, mental system is built to self-heal in the right conditions, just like the body. But it's pretty powerful. Andy, welcome from Queens, New York. Grateful for a healthy mind. That is excellent. I feel that. What else? Where are people at? What are you grateful for? Location? What are you grateful for? Grateful for dessert I ate today. Excellent. Lithuania. Welcome to Lithuania. Glad you had dessert. Folks, we're going to meditate here for 25 minutes, but before we do, no one's allowed to meditate until you tell me where you're at. What are you grateful for? Today we're going to be working with awareness, merging with awareness, and using it to care for parts of the system that need care. I could use a little TLC. I think we all could, a little bit. And we're going to be going from there. I wish I could show you. We had the doggy cam a while ago, but that fell on the ground. Let's see if we can reignite the doggy cam. Why is this cord this short? I mean, it's really short. It must be tangled somewhere because it's like micro length. Let's turn on the doggy cam. Let's aim the doggy cam. There we go. There we go. We've got the doggy cam going. Okay, folks, where are you at? What are you grateful for? And then we'll go from there. South Africa, grateful for a day off of 8 days of straight exams. Damn, that's amazing. Okay, well, I'm very impressed. We'll make sure to give you a little meditation, relaxation for that. Okay, Nate, near DC, grateful for my fitness. I have a 50-mile running race this weekend. Excellent, exciting. Let us know how it goes. Let us know your number and we'll route you on. Oh, hey folks, that reminds me, I have an appointment that I cannot change this Friday, so this is the last stream of the week. Next one will be Monday. Also, because of the holiday, it's going to go like this. Today's last stream of the week, Monday, and then we're going to and then it'll be the next Monday, the next one, because we have 2 holiday days where I'm going to be with family far away. I'm going to see if I can. People have talked about this before, like doing like a, camera, phone-based, live stream, whatever. I'm going to see if I can do that, but I'll be in North Carolina, so I don't know how the signal will be. Oops, sorry, doggy cam. So we'll see about that. How's that look? Looks great. Okay. Hey, I can show you my knees here. Maybe this will be helpful for people. So, you can look at my this section of my body. Okay. So I want to show people this thing. So often our posture, it's impossible to get our posture to be correct so right now my knee is parallel with my hip. Until I can get my knee lower than my hip, watch what happens to here. As the knee goes down, this part can go forward. See, it goes forward like this. Not a lot, but that's one of the big keys. You got to get your knees lower than your hips, folks. So find a comfortable position that you can maintain. Knees lower than hips, balancing from the tailbone through the crown of the head. We're going to meditate for 25 minutes, doing a whole part meditation, and then using the juice, the power of awareness to give ourselves a good time, to give ourselves some supportive, helping, gentle vibes to heal whatever needs to be healed. Where is the striker for the bell? That is a question I don't know the answer to. I'm sitting on it. Okay, folks. So find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. Wait, where's the dog? Oh, it's like I looked in the camera, I was like, the dog is gone. Okay, so Willow, I think for the meditation, I can hear you enough that we're going to have to put you in a little carrier, okay, little baby? I know. I'm afraid if I give you this, you're going to chew it loudly in the container. So your little toy gets taken away. And you're just going to have to hang out in this container, go to take a little nap, okay? Good girl. Okay. And now we can kill the doggy cam. Okay, folks, find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. When you're ready, I'm going to jump right in here. I wonder how the dog treat works as a bell striker. Probably pretty good. I feel like that's against the rules. You shouldn't do that. But I don't have a bell striker. Do I have something more appropriate than that for a bell striker? I use a pen, but it's not going to work as well. Need something solid. Okay, folks, find that comfortable position. When you're ready, we will begin. I went through all that trouble to get water, and I didn't bring it in. I brought a dog, but not water. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths. Just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So the mind might be restless, active, jumpy, or sleepy, foggy. So seeing which direction the mind is leaning today. Towards fogginess, towards restlessness. And we're going to add the opposite energy. So if the mind is overly wakeful, adding a little bit of restfulness. If it's overly restful, sleepy, foggy, we'll add a little wakefulness. We'll sweep through the body to be sure we're not holding any undue tension. So starting at the top of the head, relax the eyes. The muscles behind the eyes. Allowing the face to go smooth. Relaxing the back of the tongue, letting the jaw go slack. No need to hold it closed. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. the arms, and relaxing the hands. Relaxing the chest and upper back. The belly, the hips, the upper legs, the knees and calves, and relaxing the feet. And then relaxing the entire body as one collective. And then beginning to take in all of our experience, everything we can experience all together. And then within everything you can experience, this large totality, I'd like you to find one sensation. It could be the hands, it could be the breath in this case, because there's a fair amount of audio activity. I'm going to use sound. So just staying with the continuous experience of hearing. Any sound that arises, we can note the sound as hear, and the mind simply saying the word hear. Playing it like a game. Each time we notice a sound, allowing the mind to soak into that experience. This includes silence. We're trying to develop continuity of awareness. So individual sounds will arise. The sound of my voice, sounds in the background. And attention, the part of the mind that zooms into sensations, can only notice little bits and pieces. One sound, the next sound. There's a part of the mind that can stay with hearing continuously, and this is awareness. So while we may notice particular sounds, awareness itself, the open part of the mind, the spacious part of the mind, can detect and stay with all sensation related to hearing. If we can stay with the continuity of sound, in the mind we can label that whole, the whole continuous experience of hearing, regardless of individual sounds that arise within that field. If we hear a particular sound, we can label that as here. So our world is divided into particular sounds. Not a problem. But if the mind can stay with the continuity of hearing silence, hearing sounds, we'll call that whole, and this is preferred in this meditation. If we find that we are frustrated or annoyed by sounds, or pulled in, interested, this is attention. Awareness has no preference. It doesn't really distinguish between quiet and sounds that are loud, distinct. And of course, we're including mental audio. The mind is talking, narrating, playing a song, even moments of quiet. We can label these here. In our overall experience, label it whole. Take a moment to merge with the experience of hearing. Increase the intensity of the experience by letting those sensations be the center of our universe, be everything, letting them spread everywhere. Now allowing us to transition, letting go of sound in particular and opening to all sensation. We may notice that this takes a little less tension. There's no need to hold just sound. We can just open effortlessly to everything. Seeing if we can know that effortless knowing. The aspect of our experience that requires no effort. It simply knows whatever it comes in contact with. No effort to meditate. No effort to concentrate. It's the part of our experience that is purely receptive. If there's some part of us that has a drive or a need, a want, desire, these are all natural, but they're not the whole. They're not the totality, which doesn't need anything to be different. It doesn't mean we deny these experiences. They're natural, expected. We simply experience them within the context of the totality, the whole. And tuning into the qualities of this totality. Awareness is unconditioned, meaning it doesn't have an edge. It doesn't have a limit on where it can move or any sensation it can't simply move through. Notice anything that feels solid, and notice awareness can simply be aware within anything that feels solid, not just on the outer edges. In this way, noticing the kind, gentle, open nature of awareness. See if it's possible to rest in that experience. Because there's no need to do, to be different, to change, to grow. All the parts of us that feel like they need to be something, to do something, can rest. All of the parts that feel like they're often being pressured to grow or change can rest. All of the parts that are frequently worried about making this moment better, craving a better moment, finding a better moment in the past. Don't need to if they can rest in awareness. If we can stabilize there, staying continuously with resting in awareness. We can begin to turn towards parts of ourselves that have yearned for acceptance. In other words, perhaps parts of ourselves that feel like they're not enough. They feel shame. They always need to try harder, work more. In other words, they're suffering from a kind of conditional love. If they would just be better, then they could finally be accepted. If they just grow in the right way. We're going to simply introduce these parts to this unconditioned, kind awareness. We're not trying to get them to change. They've been asked to change enough already. We're simply allowing the presence of one, the presence of the other, like friends, simply being near each other. Possible, showing that more vulnerable part that it can rest. It doesn't need to do anything in its relationship to awareness. It could even keep doing things if it wants. If it's worried that it can't rest, that's fine. It can keep going. But it doesn't have to be different. Parts often feel like they need something desperately. They crave and cling. They have their own internal drives. We don't want these parts to go away. We just want to let them know that in this moment, they don't need to engage in that drive. They can, if they'd like, rest for just a moment. And staying with the practice, staying in stillness. If the eyes are closed, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes. Eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. Noticing how easily seeing comes in. Look how little we need to do. We don't need to do anything for seeing to be known. Letting the system, the body and mind rest in this non-need to do. Awareness simply takes in. Letting the system know that this awareness isn't a trick of the mind. It's not even a home we could come to rely on. This is actually us, our true selves. And in that way, letting this moment be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay, so physically adjusting the body to allow yourself to be comfortable. What else? Physically allowing the body to be comfortable. Yeah, stretch, do whatever you need to get back in order. Don't feel the need to organize the mind, really. You can let the mind be soft and open, letting it sort of take in whatever you're experiencing. And we'll go from there. So first, my apologies if the background sound was too much. I can't tell. It's because of my microphone. Everything is very loud. But the doggy was not being as quiet as they usually are. A little unexpected. I think that's one of the things you forget about with puppies is that the behavior gets better, and then drops. And it gets better, and drops. And they're slowly going up. But in the meantime, it's not always ideal. So I hope that wasn't too disturbing. But hopefully we recycled it right back in a way that was fun and easy and helpful. So folks, if you ever want to find our Discord link, just hit !D. It'll pop up right there. That is our Discord link. Oh no, it's opening it in a web browser. No thanks. Pop in and go from there. And we got 2 listeners already, unless that's me. That's me. I'm one of the listeners. Become speaker. Okay, excellent. Muse Dave is joining us here. Real quick, I just want to let folks know, use those digits, get those fingers wagging. Write down your report. What was your meditation like? What happened? What do you like now? And then we'll go from there. I want to show you a video first. Dave, I'm going to have you in here in a second, but first I want to show you this video. I hope I don't get it's a silent GIF, so I shouldn't get pegged for copyright, whatever. Where is this? Okay, great. Okay, here we go. Oh. Airplane mode. Okay, let's see if I can pull this up on my phone and if the camera will focus on it. Oh, we're getting those digital signals. Okay, here we go. I wish you could zoom in on a video, but you cannot on this app. Okay, so this video, this is a trainer with a dog that was abused. Okay, there we go. Dog was abused, so the trainer, in order to help the dog, has entered into the cage, and the dog won't eat. So the trainer is just putting 2 bowls down and just eating. Takes a little piece out, lets the dog taste the food, doesn't force the dog, just present in the cage, in the place the dog, at this point needs to be contained because it's probably maybe a dangerous dog, that kind of thing. Oh, I realized I could zoom in on this. Just hanging out. Just chilling out with the dog. I want to show this as a metaphor for how we relate to parts of ourselves that are basically wounded, traumatized, difficult. Look at the manner of the trainer. Look at the dog, how scared it is, how cowering it is in the corner, protecting itself, maybe ready to bite. I think if I remember this story, this dog was like it would attack and bite and this kind of thing. Provides a little bit, doesn't force, open hand. Hey, want some more? Yeah, taste. Lets the dog taste, then lets it be. Goes back to just being there with the dog, showing it kind of how it can be. In this case, the metaphor is that the trainer is kind awareness. The dog is our various difficult, wounded parts. So hopefully that is a nice, clear illustration of what we're building here. I think about writing different books, and I think of it like in the Bible, the book of X and the book of Y. I think of the book of infinite love, or the book of unconditional love. And that's what we're working on today. If we can find the unconditioned, which is this awareness, recognize how kind and compassionate it is, and start to apply that nature to parts that feel very separate and isolated and alienated. That's the nature of what IFS does, internal family systems therapy, but it's also the nature of what kind awareness practice does. Okay. Dave has been waiting. I'm going to pull Dave in here. Invite to speak. Okay, Dave, you'll be popped in any second here. There you go. You there?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. What was that meditation like?
I like the part where I introduced shame, regret, wanting to change into kind awareness, and it was freeing.
Yeah, great. What was the experience like? Any other details there? What the experience was like, or anything leading up to it?
I liked it.
Okay.
It was really freeing.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. Any questions?
I wanted to ask about doing your guided meditations. So it's, I think, third meditation, and it's about being aware of sights. So how should I become aware of sights? Should I become aware of colors, of movement in sights, or just pick a wide range and just be aware of that?
And this is
all of them.
This is of the 15 guided meditations.
Yeah.
So with each of those, it's in a way it's a sort of pointing out. The way that I guide is sort of a pointing out instructions. Like, do you see this? Do you see that? So for instance, I could say like, okay, you're on Discord, but you can see the screen. Is that correct? Can you see the okay, so I could say to one person, like, okay, look at this, like, can you see this, the movement of my fingers? And then to another person, I'd say, can you see the movement of my eyebrows as I'm talking, this kind of thing. And distraction basically means I'm asking you to pay attention to one thing, but the other thing is just drawing our attention. So that's fine. This is normal meditation guidance. And I'm just basically saying, hey, check out this. Notice, like, when the hands move really fast, they lose their form. Do you notice that? Like, sometimes it feels like they looks like a hand, and sometimes the mind's just like putting it together. I'm saying, do you notice that? But that doesn't mean if you don't notice that, you can't do the meditation. It's just pointing out one detail, and maybe you don't notice that, but you notice something else, the sparkling behind it, for instance. Okay, so there's sparkling back there. You can pay attention to either one. Both are visual activity. They're just different, sort of different expressions of the same thing. So for the visual practice, you can use anything in visual experience, anything at all. You can use all of it. You can use everything you mentioned you can use, but you'll notice that I sort of go through and say, oh, notice this, maybe you notice that, maybe you notice this, notice that, those kind of things. So it could be any one of those, if that makes sense. You're just trying to sensitize yourself to care about and attend to visual experience for chunks of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah,
Do you
awesome.
experience entities?
Do I experience what?
Entities.
Entities in what capacity? I mean, I'm an entity. My dog is an entity.
Like spiritually, not the physical world.
Do I experience entities? It's hard to say because I don't see that much of a difference between, like, if I think of you right now, like you're a disembodied voice that like, but I experience you more as present than like when I have the computer read someone's thing. It's like, well, that's a voice, but I have a sense of you as a person. So for me, there's not a big difference between that, like sense of a person just sort of there, or like my father who's passed away, like I have a sense of him. Is that an entity? I can sense him pretty clearly. I can even sense his personality, that kind of thing. So that's like that's where I would go. Whether it's like, oh, okay, is it extraterrestrial or something from another dimension? I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me as long as I try to like detect what's there, because the story on top of it is that it's an entity, but the pure phenomenological experience is that it is sense data pushing and pulling in these different ways. Does that part make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, just attend to what the experience is, attend to how it's being experienced, which sense gate it's coming through. Attend to whether you're, experiencing it through attention or awareness. What is it like when you experience it through one or the other? Attend to its qualities. Is the sense of an entity, whatever that is it moving? Is it changing? Is it continuous? Does it feel solid? If it's solid, is it a sense of pressure of different parts pushing against each other? You're just sort of looking at the raw experiencing of it, and whatever it is, it doesn't actually matter that much. Does that make sense? Yeah, awesome.
Shinzen Young explained it really similar.
Oh,
so yeah.
Well, it makes sense. He's my teacher. I mean, basically, what the short version is like, you can't. There's certain things that matter for insight practice and certain things that don't, and you don't want to get too caught up in, like, well, what are the ingredients in the cereal? It's like, well, it doesn't really matter, actually. We're just paying attention to what the experience is of eating it, and so it's like the mind can make lots of layers, and part of what we're doing is trying to separate out the mind that makes all these layers and constructs and things from the experiencing of it. And people who are very intelligent, especially, the way I teach is very analytical. So I draw people who are similarly analytical. So we can get convinced that analytical mind is the experiencing of it. Because what the analytical mind does is it makes a model of things, right? So it's like, okay, there's a bell, right? You see the bell, you're experiencing that, and now I take it away. Mind still holds the bell, right? And the mind is convinced that the bell that it's holding, the image and the sense of the thing, it's the same as the experiencing it had a minute ago. Same thing, really, or really close. And it amplifies its own importance. It's not that surprising. This is the I think therefore I am sort of conundrum. It says the thinking part of the mind is God, is everything, is the whole universe, and the model that it makes is really, is the truth. This is sort of like the illusion of what is it called? What's the diagrammatic? Who's there? Descartes and Cartesian. Like, this is the Cartesian model. Like, the model of the thing is exactly the thing, but that is the part. Imagine, so there's this super intelligent part that we have that makes all these cool network connections, and it's read, this book and that, and it's making all these connections all the time. And of course, that part thinks that it is the universe. It thinks that rational mind is everything in the world. That's the most important thing. And it doesn't like the idea that there might be something outside of it or bigger than it, right? I mean, if you go to someone who's really rational and you say, hey, listen, hey, come here, right? Come here. That the part of you that understands stuff, it's really cool. There's something bigger than that that's like spiritual, right? It sounds like it's immediately gets you into this realm of like, come on, like, this is total bullshit territory. We don't want, like, this is stuff we don't, no, the rational mind, the part that gets it is it. And the other thing that you're telling me that I can't know it, I can't understand it, I can't, like, grasp it. This is bullshit. I don't want to have anything to do with this. which is fine unless you want the benefits of that thing or that experience, right? So there is an aspect of that you cannot understand it, but you can experience it very directly. And if you want to know the difference between that, like really quickly, so, right, the experience of that, it came, it went, is one thing, and then the understanding of it is different. You can now hold that, remember that, you can put it in context. Okay, he was making a point, and that point fits here. Like, okay, you can feel it putting the pieces together, versus the raw experiencing of it, which was just different. And even the memory of it is different than the moment when it was experienced. So you've heard me say this before. This is the last thing I'll say. I want to jump onto other people's reports, but a monk that I like a lot, Soryu for All, who teaches at the Monastic Academy in Vermont, said this thing once. Which I loved. Which he said the point of the stage one of meditation is that you want to observe sense data without a conceptual layer on top. It makes sense. That's sort of like meditation 101, right? You want to experience the data without the conceptual layer on top. What we learn over time is that if we look closely, if we really observe, that conceptual layer is just more sense data. There is no conceptual layer on top. It's just more sense data. And so we see that all the concepts are actually just more of the same material. So the concepts start to become less important, and the experiencing of them becomes primary. What were you going to say?
So I meditate, let's say, like for 1 year, and my mind is getting boring because it's the same thing over and over again. Okay. So like, I should be aware of that conceptual mind that says that, so it's not the same, actually.
Yeah, and so, you can examine whatever it is. If you're having a challenge in meditation, if you know how to meditate well, you just examine that. Like, I'm bored. Where? Exactly where are you bored in the body? You know, maybe an early insight, and this might be something you can pay attention to, that every sensation occurs someplace, right? Seeing occurs right here. You think it occurs out there, but actually it occurs like here. This seeing is occurring right there. Hearing occurs at the ears, like it's all someplace. Mental images are like kind of in front of us or around us or over there or whatever. And so whatever's happening is occurring someplace. Where is boredom occurring? How big is it? Is it moving? Is it active? Is it, again, is it like you go through and sort of looking at it analytically, and it very quickly becomes very interesting. It's like Shinzen tells this story that he was, I want to get to other people, but he tells this story that he was, stuck someplace extremely boring. And he's like, oh my God, this is the most boring thing in the world. He was like on retreat, and he was fasting, so there's nothing to do. He's just alone, nothing. And he's like, oh, this is so boring. At some point, the thought hits his mind. He's like, what is boredom made of? And he starts exploring boredom, and it's amazingly fascinating, but it starts to disappear because he's not bored anymore. He's like, no, like, come back. But he can't because it's so exciting to find out what it is.
Yeah, and then excitement is also the conceptual. Like,
even if it's not conceptual, it's still experiential. So it's, excitement. How can I tell that it's exciting? How can I tell that that's occurring at this given moment? So that's the long answer to the short question. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, now it makes a lot more sense, man.
Awesome.
Thank you for explaining this.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. It's super fun. Okay, let's jump to Just Andy here. Just Andy gave a feed report a while ago. Hopefully you're still here, Just Andy. Let's highlight this. Andy says the following.
It was a good meditation. Every meditation is. Started off with the body scan and eventually reside on the whole body as resting.
Mm-hmm.
Then for the hearing part, I focused on my upseas fan.
Mm-hmm.
As I was noting, here, I got a little deeper and noticed the fluctuation of the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Pictured my attention, awareness like a floater, and the sound was a wave going up and down.
Mm.
Then as you were guiding us, I observe images and thoughts appear and just notice it and other sensations that were arising.
Great. And then you also said, it's like one sentence that I'm not going to read.
Then when we got to rest, I just rest on a tranquil, calm, abiding place.
Yeah. So just remember that I'm doing something a little bit different than you might know in a normal Shinzen experience. We're finding awareness, which is this, Shinzen might call it zoomed out, but we want to talk about it as its own thing. That awareness doesn't need anything about the moment. It is defined by, it is the part that knows experiences without needing anything to be different, without a drive or wanting. And so we're finding that and noticing that the awareness itself doesn't need anything from us, and that is restful. That is relieving to all the parts that are constantly going. So that was the space that I was resting in, and then we went to parts that really suffer, find difficulty, and letting those parts of us find that experience of peace. I always feel like people talk about peace and meditation and relaxation, whatever. It's like, sure, fine, but like literally, what do you mean peace? Do you just mean the body's relaxed? Like I could get in the hot tub for that. I could get a massage or go to take a nap. Like, why not just take a nap? We're talking about a kind of existential depth of peace, of letting go, that is incredibly deep. So that's what I wanted to emphasize there. So that's great report. Any other reports? Any other questions, quandaries, comments, queries, challenges, or concerns? Any of those things in the world that you want to share? You can jump on voice on Discord, or if you want to just type it in the chat. Let me check the calendar again. I'm going to be in trouble on certain days if I go past noon. I should probably go. Yeah, I should go for noon today. Yeah, okay. Folks, hit me. Any other questions or other things coming up? Just a reminder about the calendar. Because of the holiday, we don't have a stream this Friday. We do have a stream this Monday. So that's in a few days, whatever you can count. Monday, 11 a.m. The holidays, I'm driving on Wednesday. It's the day after Thanksgiving, Friday. So then it's going to be this Monday, next Monday, and then we're back to regular schedule. So hopefully you can join us. What do they call follow? Hit the follow button so you can know when we're streaming. If you want to find out stream announcements, we have a little announcement thing on our Discord. You can join that, and from there, what happens? From there you can get the stream announcements, and it'll tell you. You can put alerts on that. Folks, great to be here with you. Super fun. Dave asks, meditate twice for 30 minutes or once a day for an hour? If you can do the hour, pick the hour, because the momentum is better than the sort of broken up part. Although what I would suggest mostly is if you can do an hour, even if you could do 50 minutes, and then this would be really good. If you really want like the most amping up of your thing, 50 minutes of like dedicated practice and 10 1-minute sessions throughout the day. Just like the alarm goes off, you just pull aside whenever you can, you stop, you meditate for 60 seconds, you move on with your life. That would be the fastest accelerator of your practice. That would 100% be better than an hour. Is to do one big chunk and then little moments all throughout the day. Even if you wanted to make it 3 seconds and take that off your total time and like have 10 moments where it's just 3 seconds where you really, really soak into your experience, let it go, that would be a real barn burner. Hopefully that is of interest. Yeah, practice in daily life is really, really powerful. It's it's a numbers game. That's awakening is a numbers game. We're trying to bleed this material into our daily life as much as we possibly can. Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, do it. I'm excited to hear what happens. Okay, folks, great to be here with you. Let's play some music. How about that? This animated GIF usually lasts for like 3 rounds and then all of a sudden it freezes, but there you go. Oh, it's back. So folks, take a moment to just soak into this particular experience. All of it, everything you can experience is one big category. Awareness doesn't care about edges, so just take in everything. And then notice that part that takes in everything is clear and neutral and free. Kind and open, spacious. And see if every part of you can rest in that to some degree. Just no need to be anyone or do anything. Yeah. And in that way, letting this moment be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Folks, as always, practice well, take care of each other, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.